Oh, God, I wish I could save everyone, but I can't. If you see this, wake up! They're fucking here. They're infiltrating our fucking minds. They're in our minds. Wake up. You don't believe in paranormal stuff? Watch this. Spirits! Show yourself! Show them how real you really are! Ooh. I got you on camera, motherfucker! Look at it! Be gone! Look at that. Disappeared. Tell me ghosts aren't. That's it! Show yourself! Ooh. Get away! Leave us alone!
Welcome back with another banger. Hit that like, sub it up, the React Files. Hit that like, sub it up, the React Files. Y'all feel me? Let's run it.
This showed up in one of my pictures. I would be out of that house so fast. Now, the spirit I just showed you actually transforms from a regular looking person into that. These photos were taken at the Crescent Hotel in Arkansas. People were posing for a photo when someone else took photos from the side. And they captured this spirit standing outside of the window looking in. Now, in this first photo, it looks like a normal person. I almost feel the sadness in this photo. It looks sad. And only part of its face has like discernible features. The other part, you can't see the eye or anything. It's just more like a blob. But then a woman claiming to be a psychic and a witch steps up. She's talking to the group. They take another photo, and the same spirit that was standing outside is in the photo again. But this time, it looks completely different. Its face is completely distorted. It has a huge, wide, gaping mouth. Both eyes are visible this time, but they are solid black. And it's just turned into something that could haunt your most pleasant dreams. So here it is before the psychic, and there it is after. It makes you wonder what exactly she done to make it do this, and what it is. What do y'all think about this one? Let me know. And don't forget to like and follow for more. Good night.
That's creepy. It got creepier when the witch came inside. Shout outs to Chelsea. Whoa. She be finding them bangers, man. That's great footage right there. Something about 35mm film, I feel. It catches paranormal stuff, for real.
The more I look into this prediction for Easter Sunday, the more interesting it gets. Let me tell you about it. A couple days ago, I made a video about this man, Chris Bledsoe. He was abducted by extraterrestrials in 2007. Then later, he had a vision of an event that would happen on Easter Sunday, 2026, a week from now. By the way, he first talked about that vision in public in 2012. Anyway, he was told in the vision that on Easter Sunday 2026, a bright red star would be above the Sphinx in Egypt. And that would be the sign that aliens, extraterrestrials, are going to announce themselves to the people of the earth. Now remember, he said this in 2012, that during this time there would be a war between Iran, Israel, and the United States. That orbs would rise out of the ocean and people of the world would see this. But there's something else about this story that just clicked to me. The Space Force logo that was made years ago. Do you know what it looks like? This is it, the United States Space Force logo. Look at that for a second. It's a Sphinx with a star over its head. A giant star over the Sphinx. Yeah, just like the story Chris Bledsoe said in 2012, way before Space Force was even a thing. So why is the Space Force logo almost exactly like his story? Coincidence, or did they know something too? I guess we'll all find out on Easter, which is about a week away. Shabadoo Bushkis! Shabadoo!
Shabadoo. Shouts to Joe Gillespie the Great. Wow, this was a good one. Look at that connection. If we see a red star over the pyramid, this is the first video I'm thinking about. First time I heard about this theory. Very interesting.
You're the second person that I've heard say that nukes are fake. It's 100% a psychological operation. They still have massive bombs. They do, yes. They have bombs that are real. Just like that, it's a fear tactic to psychologically trap everybody's minds. There's a book, Hiroshima. You can look it up. Type in cluster when you look it up, and you'll see cluster bombs. And they talk about how they thought it was a cluster of bombs that dropped. They've told us that it's a single bomb to create this dichotomic mindset where you're like, oh, Iran's going to get nukes. There is no nukes. That's a lie. And we're seeing it right now. Like, if you were to go to Gaza right now, though, and bring a Geiger counter, it would go off just like a nuke would. The bombs create a radiation, which is a vibration of the frequency of the atoms in the atmosphere. In Hiroshima, there's a dude that survived both Nagasaki and Hiroshima. Okay. So the radiation didn't kill him. Yeah. And he lived to 94 or something like that. And he had kids. And when he did the interview, he was just like, yeah, I got some sores that I deal with. And it was so terrible. But it was the burn. Yeah. That would happen to anybody that gets burned with something, you know? And like he's saying in his speech that he was talking to the doctor and he was saying, oh, it was one bomb. It was just one. And the doctor said, you're crazy. The fact that he thinks it's one bomb is the reason why they gave him a platform. Even though the doctor in that same story, he's telling him, says, no, it wasn't one bomb. You're crazy. He's like, it's got to be multiple bombs because it was multiple. And there was a debate whether it was multiple bombs.
Before we dive back in, here's something you can actually do when you're bored. Play games and get paid for it. If you hit the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen, you can download and sign up for free right away. It's simple. Download and create an account with your email and password. It takes seconds. Inside, you'll see a wall of games and offers. Pick one you actually enjoy, play through the levels, and the cash lands straight into your free cash account. It's like turning your downtime into your side hustle without even noticing. Some people pull in $10, $20 a day. If you put in the effort, you can go a lot higher. You can spend a couple bucks in game to hit the levels faster, which lets you unlock the bigger offers and payouts. And that's how some users end up earning hundreds, even $500 or more on certain offers. But you don't have to spend anything. You can stick to the free levels and still cash out. The whole point is that instead of just sitting there scrolling, you're playing and earning at the same time. When it's time to cash out, you got options, PayPal and gift cards. So if you're curious, hit the link in my description or scan the QR code on the screen, download and sign up for free, start playing for cash in your spare time, and when you use my link or QR code, you'll also get a $10 bonus just to kick things off.
With fireballs, meteors, space debris, contrails. The military knew better back in 1949, as seen in this classified memo describing a conference at Los Alamos specifically on green fireballs in 1947 after Roswell. They caused such concern that a special investigation was born, Project Twinkle, that concluded in 1950 with results that clearly state
there is considerable doubt in the minds of some of the project personnel that this is a natural phenomenon.
Fast forward, AFRL General William Neal McCasland funded two genius women scientists in metals, metallurgists, Monica Jacinto Reza and Dallas Hardwick, who invented Mondelloy, named after themselves, Monica and Dallas, a superalloy that survives extreme rocket heat, perfect for hypersonics and re-entry. June 22nd, 2025, Monica vanishes on a hike in California, and after exhaustive research, they find nothing but her beanie. Then silence. No announcements from her very big employers, a Find a Grave registration that came and went, and phone data obtained but never publicly released. Feb 2026, General McCasland, the man who funded Monica and Dallas, disappears from his Albuquerque home, wanders out with a backpack, leaves his phone behind but takes a gun, and just days after the mysterious disappearance of Monica Jacinto Reza, Los Alamos National Laboratory admin employee Melissa Casillas also disappeared. Walked off, also leaving her work and personal phone behind, which when found had been factory reset. MIT plasma physicist Nuno Loureiro, Caltech astrophysicist Carl Grillmayer, and Novartis scientist Jason Thomas make 6 individuals connected to advanced materials, plasma, and classified work, either missing or deceased. And now here's us with greenish fireballs lighting up the skies, not just anywhere, over military ranges and strategic energy corridors, just like back in the 50s. Or could it be Mondoloy glowing in our skies with that signature green glow of ionized nickel in the plasma sheath? And could it be that Monica Jacinto Reza, General William Neal McCasland, and even Melissa Casillas, who held a cleared administrative role at Los Alamos, were quietly taken for their own protection or relocated because their combined knowledge touched matters of the highest levels of national security? I have a feeling this is not over. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you in the comments. Take care.
Shout outs to Glam Ham Radio. That's what I was thinking. What if they got that call, leave your phone, gotta go with us to a certain base, secret location. Like my imagination takes me to like the Iron Man suit, special metals, plasma shield, plasma cannons, weaponizing plasma. Shout out to Dana Keppel, because you would still need the scientists to repair the equipment, things like that maybe. So I agree, it's far from over. That was a good catch.
35 million a month to Hamas. 35 million a month to Hamas, directly from Bibi the bomber. And you gonna tell me they have no idea what was going on? They have no idea somebody was gonna attack?
Hamas to receive $35 million every month from Qatar.
Pieces of money was given to Hamas under the request of Benjamin Netanyahu personally. And because the Qatarians knew him from the beginning, they were asking him to send them his requests in writing because they knew that he's going to lie in the future.
You take money from Qatar, give it to the people that want you dead, and then you backdoor both of them and get them versus each other and create chaos. The guy that cheated on his wife got caught, admitted to it, and then blackmailed the White House and pulled the exact same trick on Bill Clinton. He was the one that called Bill Clinton up. He said, hey, I have you having and it wasn't with Hillary. Fuck is going on, gang? And I want you to think, would your greatest ally tap the White House? Once you cut them off, and be like, wait, hold on, you came into where our president lives at and you phone tapped us? To be said out loud that our country is supporting and funding another country that journalists and brags about it. Journalists. They kill them and then they post videos about it. And then when you ask, like, okay, what evidence did you have that he was actually, an undercover terrorist? I thought, son, there's not a picture. We photoshopped that one, but just trust us. Trust us. Oh, trust you. That's who we're supposed to trust? Looks like to be a journalist in Palestine. And this is the West Bank. So supposedly, there's supposed to be no fighting. It's a ceasefire. And a CNN journalist, one gets chokeholded, and two, guns in their face. And for what? Why? Simply for vibes. Because this is the other journalist in Lebanon. So none of this is even happening in Iran. And our media doesn't talk about Lebanon for whatever reason, because obviously they were not even a part of the war. We weren't talking about nuclear weapons. We weren't talking about regime change. 35 million in itself is wild. But yeah, I had to look up the Bibi Files myself, and it's an actual documentary from 2024. It has an IMDb and all. Like, this is wild. For some reason, it just came back around and went viral. Wow, it's on Apple TV. It just sounds like some crazy work. Backdooring your allies, paying them so they could get into conflict with your enemies. That's wild, man. So I'm confused because it's an actual documentary. On IMDb, it said it was made in 2024, but it's saying that Tucker Carlson just released it. Never before seen footage from the Bibi Files. Wow. Oh yeah, it's all over the internet now. This is wild. You got so many countries involved. You know it's a big deal when something goes viral globally.
If you happen to possess the largest crane humans have ever created, you would own the only singular piece of machinery that can lift this ancient rock out of the ground. which means that the STS-250 crane was possessed by the ancient Egyptians, Peruvians, and Japanese. But if you're on a budget, you could get this thing done with about 20 normal cranes, or roughly 100 top-tier ancient Roman cranes. I'm being facetious, but this is not a joke. This is Baalbek in Lebanon. Just for scale, the temple right here, the columns on this temple are so big you can't see the human that's standing in between them. He's there. But it was so easy for these builders. The entire foundation of this place is made up of stones of similar size to that first one. If you're an engineer, you're going to immediately see a problem here. That is how far away the temple is from the quarry. Not far, but we got to get the rock out first. Now you're probably thinking, slap some chains on this thing and yank it up. But no, you can't do that. If you could even get it onto this guy, the sheer weight of this block alone would cause it to fracture when you lifted it up. And perfect fitment would mean the chains couldn't damage the rock at all. That's after you built a special road for it. The max weight for a US highway is 40 tons. Unless you could build a truck 3 times the size of this one that only transported 340 tons. If you don't, you will sink into the road. So it's transported on almost no incline. Machu Picchu achieved this on a mountain. And for most people, this is when you go alien. I did too. But perhaps we just went down a different scientific path than our ancestors did. And after about 6 years of sleepless nights, I am convinced that we are on the verge of a new scientific breakthrough inspired by our ancient homies. For example, the ancient tube drill mystery in Egypt can be recreated using a vibrating rock. In the 1930s, we have accounts of monks from Tibet using these things to levitate rocks. And if you vibrate a rock at that frequency, you can move it with your finger. Maybe they weren't legends. I think most people just want a rational explanation for this. And I really want to break down what these Russians are doing. But there's more. Our new understanding of magnetism has given us insight into new methods of propulsion. In places like Tiwanaku in Bolivia, some of the stones have a magnetic center of gravity. And while this would be the coolest, I can't cover all the rational theories in 2 minutes, so I put them in here. If that's not your thing, fine. But if it is, grab it and you can get entered to win this Vajra and sign copies of all my books. If not, I'll see you tomorrow and we'll talk about the floating rocks.
Oh yeah, I'm about to go to his website myself and get in that giveaway. Shout out to baseforce.us. I became very intrigued when I heard that it was in Lebanon. Like, it made me think of what's going on over there. Sort of like what happened with Saddam Hussein in Iraq and the Stargates. Shout out to Baseforge, man. This is real eye-opening stuff.
The 6-7 meme isn't an innocent trend.
6.
It's an alchemical ritual connected to Saturn worship. Let's start with the most obvious. Saturn supposedly is the 6th planet and has 7 rings. The Venus and Saturn conjunction this year fell on March 8th, 67th day of the year. NASA's Saturn V rocket was first launched in 1967. 6 represents the material, 7 represents the spiritual. As above, so below. This is why the people perform it by saying it 6-7 while gesturing up and down with their hands. As above, so below is represented by 2 interlocking triangles, which form the hexagram, an ancient symbol for Saturn. The elites who worship Saturn are known as the Saturn cult. The phrase Saturn cult equals 67 in reverse reduction gematria. Saturn is another name for Satan. Therefore, the word Satanist equals 67 in reverse reduction gematria. Now let's go a bit deeper. 6 times 7 is 42. The Temple of Saturn in the Roman Forum was first restored in 42 BC. The word Saturn equals 42 in reverse reduction gematria. The 42nd chemical in the periodic table is molybdenum. Its name is derived from the Greek word molybdos, meaning lead. All alchemists watching this will know that lead corresponds with Saturn and is represented by its astrological symbol. The very word alchemy equals 67, just as the phrase alchemical ritual equals 67 in English reduction gematria. If you're participating in the 6-7 trend, just know you're unknowingly performing an occult ritual dedicated to Saturn. But this is just barely scratching the surface. Chances are, you worship Saturn on a daily basis and don't even realize it, from the holidays you celebrate to the things you buy. But if you want to finally understand why Saturn symbolism is everywhere and stop feeding it your energy, I go much deeper inside my blueprint. If you're curious, comment the word blueprint and I'll send you the details.
Not the blueprint. Makes me think of Jay-Z. Shout out to Matrix is Real. This was a great video. I like how he broke down that gematria. Remember, there's plenty of ciphers. It's a lot. But lining it up is just like puzzle of coincidences. Like, me personally, I believe gematria is the real thing. There's such thing as numerology, but there's just two different things. As many times as I did it, like, golly, I was just having fun. We all were. But now that you know, choice is yours. I don't think you're gonna catch me doing it too often.
They're claiming the fire started in the laundry room. Remember when the video I uploaded and I said 600 people don't have a place to sleep, and I was like, where the fuck are people sleeping? Yeah, so as you can see, the USS Gerald Ford out of commission. They say, I'm hearing rumors, they're saying it could be out for a year or 2 years. I don't know, but what the fuck, I didn't even pick up whatever. Sorry, I went to the kitchen for something and I forgot. But yeah, your boy got you the exclusive.
Super exclusive. Shout outs to Gothic Kabuki too. Yo, very sad. That joint is really out of commission. People sleeping on the floors. You can hear the water as they walk. And you've seen the damage.
I mean, this is just selfish. Just look at her. Just absolute desperation. I mean, we're not going to run out of fuel, love. Oh my God. Oh, so now she's going to go and pay. The stupid woman.
Look at what this gas pump is doing. He ain't even pumping the gas. It's going up. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. As if the gas prices isn't high enough. I don't know if I'm gonna test this out, but this is what I want y'all to do. Whenever y'all get gas and y'all got some extra time, y'all do this and DM it to me and I'll make a video on it, because I want to know if this is true. And if you don't have a clue on what's going on, that guy went to the gas station and he pumped a little bit of gas, he did. But he took the pump out to see what would happen. And yes, that pump was still going up and it didn't stop. It kept going until he stopped it. Also, gas prices have been rising and everybody's been complaining about them. I know where I'm at, gas is almost $5. But I know in other places it's $6, $8. Yeah, I won't go say the next number because y'all already know who y'all be with that. We ain't doing all that. But yeah, it's like $6 or $8. Like, yo, people is really paying that out here. That's crazy. I'm gonna let you know this now. If I gotta pay $8 a gallon for gas, and this is not premium I'm talking about that 87, that cheap gas. If I gotta pay $8 for that, Amazon, bike, please. I'm buying a bike. I ain't even gonna lie to you. I'm not even gonna sit here and cap. Or I'm walking. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Try this out and let me know. I'm telling you, I will make a video on it. Let me know. Like and follow for more.
Nah, this hasn't happened to me yet. It goes faster than usual and it clicks. Like it cuts it off. Shout outs to the Ya Boyant. Let me know if this happened to you. I don't know, man. I wonder if he paid with his credit card. Like, better check that bill.
Upright. The federal government just confirmed that they are about to start diluting your gasoline this May. So basically, the EPA just announced that starting on May the 1st, gas stations across the country can sell E15 fuel nationwide. If you're somebody that doesn't know what E15 fuel is, it's gasoline that's cut with 15% ethanol instead of just the usual 10. And you literally cannot make this up right now because they are calling it fortifying the domestic fuel supply, which is a really weird way to say that you're just going to be adding more corn juice to people's gas.
The EPA has issued emergency waivers for gasoline blends like E15.
Now this is why it actually matters to you, because ethanol has less energy than regular gasoline, so your car gets worse fuel economy on E15. The entire point of this is that you might be saving about 25 cents per gallon at the pump, but you're burning through it faster, so obviously the savings just cancels itself out. But this is the part that genuinely nobody's talking about, because the EPA normally bans E15 during the summer because ethanol evaporates faster in heat and creates more smog. They explicitly know this, but they just decided to waive their own rule that they made anyways because gas prices are high right now and people are angry. And if you're somebody that owns an older car, a lawnmower, a boat, or a chainsaw, they're saying to be careful because E15 can mess up those engines. So they're making your gas cheaper by just making it worse. Is that even surprising at this point?
Not the box Chevy. Shout out to Nick Jackson. I can see why they doing it, but if a car breaks down, who do you blame? I feel like they've already been doing it. In my opinion, gas hasn't been stretching like it usually do.
The U.S. Cybersecurity and Infrastructure Security Agency just purchased on March 17th aliens.gov and alien.gov.
They've been teasing this for years, man.
2 months ago, Trump's like, we're going to disclose a lot of the UFO alien stuff. And then they purchased these websites. Ultimately, I think it's going to be a massive psyop, though.
I think it's all in response into what he was refusing to disclose. So depending on how escalated that conversation gets, depends what fake stories do get disclosed.
Nothing can be trusted now, unless humans see it for their own self in front of their face. And even then, we've done that with the New Jersey drones. Like, you can't really even trust that.
I think when administration's like under fire, they're like, aliens, look over here. And then people are like, oh, wow. But it's never enough. It's always just little bits. And a lot of it, I really think is just fake stuff.
How do people figure this out?
I don't know. I ride off the coattails of people that do the real research.
The greatest conspiracy of all time is sitting out in Washington, D.C. It's also here at the Vatican. This is the ancient structural representation of the womb of Isis. This is the ancient structural representation of the erectile phallus of Osiris. Your capital city is laid out as a magical construct based on ancient Egyptian beliefs for the exact purpose of raising Osiris from the dead so that he could be incarnated within every U.S. president. That's the way the city's laid out. It's also laid out that way at the Vatican. It was dedicated to Osiris, Isis, and the sun god Ra. And when Sixtus the Pope brought it there, he tried to conduct an exorcism on it to cast the spirit of Osiris out of it before planting it in the center of the Vatican City. All right, there's a reason why the Washington Monument has a magic square in its base where a Bible is bound. There's a reason there's a magic 666 square above that altar in the house of the temple where I was at. There's a reason there are 72 pentagrams. In their Gnosticism, they believe 72 demons control the nations of the earth, and they have bound them at the base of the apotheosis of Washington. This is the underbelly of the U.S. Capitol Dome. It's called the apotheosis of George Washington, which means to become a god.
What actually fails first in a blackout? It might surprise you. Some people think in a blackout it's just about the lights going out and a couple things we can't use. That's the least of your problems, especially in an extended blackout. Real grid failure, it's a system failure, and it happens in layers. So let's walk through some of the most critical systems that break and what to do about it. One of the huge failures, especially for people without a well and without a generator to run that well, is water pressure. Some people don't realize this. They take the water coming out of their faucet for granted every day. Your water system depends on electric pumps. No power, no pressure, no filtering either, especially city water. At first, you might still have some pressure, then it drops, and then it's gone. So your first move in a blackout's not always flashlights, it's water. Immediately fill the bathtub, every sink, fill containers, bottles, pots, buckets, anything you have. You can even get 55-gallon food drums pretty cheap on Facebook Marketplace. I have several of those. Because once pressure is gone, you miss the window. Another major failure, refrigeration. You have about 4 to 6 hours probably for your refrigerator and 24 to 48 hours for your freezer, if it's full. A full freezer holds temperature a little bit longer than if it were half full. You got to consolidate items and don't keep opening the door. Every time you open the door, that costs you time. Another big failure is communication. People assume phones will always work. Cell towers get overloaded pretty fast. And if you don't have a lot of good backup comms, instead of sending constant text and trying to make calls, send one message clearly. Where are you? What's the plan? When you're going to check in next. Then conserve your battery. A major failure that causes things to go south pretty quickly too is sanitation. This is where things can get really bad really fast. No water equals toilet issues. You want to have a 5-gallon bucket with trash bags, you could buy something like the Luggabaloo, which comes with a bucket, toilet seat, sanitizer, and waste bags. There's all kinds of products out there. But don't wait until it's a problem. That's too late. Real preparedness is not reacting to failure, it's staying ahead of it. Check out thesurvivalsummit.com for more tips and a ton of content.
Shout out to the Survival Summit. Make sure you check out their website. Amazing advice. Spot on. For sure. Especially the toilets going out. We already seen what happened on the vessels out at sea when the toilet goes out. Imagine that. Through the whole city. Totally agree right here, for sure.
Whatever. Druski revealed he got a text message warning him to cancel his Jewish people skit in the middle of making it. Could you imagine being a comedian and the only thing you can't touch is... Hey, they run literally everything. Comedy, entertainment, the world, whatever, bro. The only thing they don't run just yet is your mind, okay? So make sure you're not going after Jewish people. If you are watching this, I just want to be a part of the team. Understand that not even Druski, a comedian, is immune to the almighty.
Yeah, Druski got pulled, but he don't got that kind of pull. Shout outs to Mr. Ferrari Media. Druski, keep your head on a swivel. They infiltrated your team. That's what happened in the middle of the skit. Yeah.
Hi. Everybody has a habit of grabbing their phones when they wake up. And what that does is our brain has these different waves that as we're sleeping, we're in delta. As we wake up, it goes to theta, it goes to alpha, and then it goes to beta, and then high beta. But if you grab your phone, as soon as you wake up, you're jumping from delta to beta. That is going to put your nervous system, body, and thoughts on high alert for the rest of the day. As you move delta, theta, alpha, beta, you're going through the doorway to your subconscious. Right before you fall asleep and right when you wake up are amazing times to program how you want your life to go.
Why aren't more people talking about this thing captured in a little town outside Chicago? Now, this video was captured in a wooded area right outside of Chicago. And you're probably like, oh, what is it? A tree stump? No. I don't know what this is. It was taken outside of a man's window. You can see the reflection of his kitchen light in this video. And I've zoomed in, stabilized, and tried to make it as stable as possible. He said whatever this thing is, it looked like it had a human face, just really fucked up, and the body of a big lizard. The man said that he's 6'4", and this thing would have come up to about his belly button. You can see its legs right there. It is very tall. It almost looks like a bald lion. He said as soon as he saw it, he whipped out his cell phone, recorded it, and it walked away into the woods. Now, I have no idea what this could be, but I know one thing for sure. It's definitely not an animal that I can identify. Just look at its face in this photo. I took a couple still shots of it so you could see it. What is this thing? And why is it just chilling outside of Chicago? Another thing I noticed too is its back legs are either really low or it's hurt. I don't know. What do you guys think about this? Have you seen anything like this before? Let me know.
It almost looks like a Komodo dragon or something, but the face is too weird. Makes me think of them underground lab experiments they talk about in the files. Shout out to Chelsea. Whoa.
Now the military is building a big complex under the ballroom, which has come out recently because of a stupid lawsuit that was filed. But the military is building a massive complex under the ballroom, and that's under construction, and we're doing very well. So we're ahead of schedule. That's part of it. The ballroom essentially becomes a shed for what's being built under the military, including from drones and including from any other thing. The glass on the windows, you see the big windows, the glass is extremely thick. It's high-grade bulletproof glass, so all of the windows are bulletproof. I think the Times wrote, gee, some of the windows are fake. We have no fake windows. They said, they talked about a stairway in the south. We don't have a stairway in the south. That was replaced a long time ago.
The U.S. just sent a letter to armed forces members that's freaking people out. Listen up. You know how the U.S. and Israel launched attacks on Iran a couple weeks ago, right? Well, when that happened, Iran took this as an existential threat and dropped an economic nuke by attacking cargo ships and closing what's called the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil and gas typically flows through. This is already causing a massive crisis, and it's only been a couple of weeks. Check out my short with this cover to see the full breakdown. By the way, this video ended up being from a different scenario, but still the point stands. For the Strait of Hormuz, with oil specifically, there's typically around 20 million barrels per day that pass through. Remember this for later. Back in the 1980s, during the Iran-Iraq War, Saudi Arabia built a pipeline called the East to West Pipeline that bypasses the Strait of Hormuz and siphons off oil to the Red Sea and up north through the Suez Canal and down south through what's called the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, where most of it flows through right here. And Saudi Arabia is now activating this pipeline to get as much oil as they can off to the other side to avoid this problem with the Strait of Hormuz. Now, the East to West Pipeline can only carry at maximum 7 million barrels of oil per day. And we just learned today that they've now hit that capacity already. So 20 million barrels a day that typically flow through the Strait of Hormuz, but that's cut off. We've got 7 million barrels per day that can make it through the East to West Pipeline to help, which means that we're short 13 million barrels per day of global oil flows. But wait a minute, because we have an issue here. Yemen, this country right here, sits right at the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which is where most of the oil that's coming from the East to West Pipeline is supposed to flow through to make up for what's happening in the Strait of Hormuz, right? Well, the Yemeni Houthis, which are an Iranian-backed proxy group, just launched missiles at Israel and have essentially declared their entry into the war supporting Iran. Now, the Yemeni Houthis have constantly threatened to block off the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, claiming that they have, quote, fingers on the trigger. If they block that off, that's going to be a final blow to the global economy. This strait is typically responsible for another 4 to 8 million barrels per day. Now, on March 28th, a U.S. general sent a letter to Marine Forces reserves warning Marines to check their gear, readiness, and personal affairs in case mobilization orders are issued. He said, quote, readiness will be assumed, not questioned, and, quote, prepare your family. Over the past few weeks, there were pictures and videos circulating around of military members being served steak and lobster, which is a symbolic precursor to major deployments and combat operations. It's widely viewed as a morale-boosting last meal before things get serious. Well, now we know why, because reports are coming out that the Pentagon is saying that the U.S. military is preparing for a potential 2-month-long ground operation in Iran. What are your thoughts on this? Are we officially heading into World War III? Did I miss anything or get anything wrong?
Now, something really funny about this map is this. Iran, Persia, is not part of the Greater Israel Project. So then you're asking yourself, wait a minute here. If Iran is actually not part of the Greater Israel Project, then why is Israel going to war with Iran? Well, the reason why is, if they want all this territory, their main enemy is not Syria, that's been destroyed. It's not Iraq, that's been destroyed. It's not Saudi Arabia, it's too weak. Not Jordan, it's too weak. Not Egypt, it's too weak. Not Lebanon, it's too weak, okay? Their main enemy is the American Empire, okay? In the Greater Israel Project, it's the Americans that control the land of Greater Israel, the Middle East. These are American bases. So in other words, you use this war against Iran to destroy the American Empire. How? By forcing the American Empire to go and invade Iran. And when this happens, America will be too overextended, and then they'll be forced to retreat from the Middle East. Okay? And so eventually, America will be defeated. America will be forced to retreat from the Middle East. And that will leave two regional powers, okay? Iran and Israel. And again, because of the Greater Israel Project, the Israelis have no problem with this. Persia is, again, not part of the Greater Israel Project. The Israelis don't really care if Iran is still standing. They want Iran to be as weakened as possible, okay? But they really don't need to defeat Iran to achieve the biblical prophecy. But they do need to defeat the Americans. All right, the Americans are in the way. All right.
That's a wrap. Hope you enjoyed the deep dive. You enjoyed this video. please consider to give it a like, subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. Shout outs to all the reactors. Thanks again. Till next time.